Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your podcast show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we just sit back, real fan opinions, real reactions, and we're just going to have a conversation about cricket in general and just about lives, etc. As you can see, I'm suited up for the occasion. I'm not suited up for Umpo and Lubabalo tonight. I'm suited up because just came from a wedding, so that's the reason why, and I need to rush back to obviously bring this podcast to you guys. So I want to know how you guys are feeling, how you guys doing. Let us know in the comment section, of course, so that we can obviously answer your questions and, of course, just have a chat about cricket in general. But obviously, before we get going, you know what you have to do. Please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell. So without further ado, let's bring on Umpo and Lubabalo so that we can get this conversation going. Welcome, Umpo, and welcome, Lubabalo.
How's it, guys?
So, how's your week been so far?
How's it, guys?
Chilled weekend, or how was your week so far? Hectic?
Not too bad. It wasn't too bad. I just missed the domestic cricket going on, but at least tomorrow it'll be live on TV, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm actually planning on going to the Wanderers tomorrow for day one of that night's match, so I can see Reynolds and Donda live.
You're so lucky. It's something that so many people would be blessed to do. It's an amazing sight to see.
Well, the country's going to get to see him tomorrow or for the next 4 days because it'll be on SuperSport channel. I don't know, 240, 245. So
it'll only be. Remember, it'll only be live streaming. So you will need internet to be able to watch it. Actually, you need to have the app or use the thingy, their website. So not everyone's going to be able to watch it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things. I mean, we have to be able to. We're gonna have to stream it. I'm hoping that it's gonna be. Yeah, that's much better than nothing, of course. I just want to see Rain. I hope Rainer performs. I don't want to put too much pressure on him to perform. Apparently, he told me his father watches the show. Apparently, says his father watches the shows. So we don't want to put too much pressure on Reinhard at the moment. So I hope Reinhard performs. But what I'm excited about as well, it's not only Reinhard. Here's MP where they just joined the show. Welcome, brother. Let's just change the graphics so that your face is not in the covered over there. There we go. That's much better. So with regards to everything, what I actually want to know is because looking at the previous champions, and luckily we're going to be able to see the previous champions. Unlucky that we're not going to see really the Proteas players. They're all going to be obviously in the bio bubble for the England tour. But there's still a lot of talent at the Lions. So I'm really excited to see maybe if Wesley Marshall gets a run out, if those guys get an opportunity, as well as Vian Mulder. I hope he's fit again. Talano Potgieter. There's so many youngsters over there as well at the Lions. Joshua Richards, if he's going to open the batting. Obviously, Ryan Rickleton, to be able to see that would be awesome. And obviously, at the Knights, we know, I hope Dwayne Jansen gets an opportunity, Marco's brother. So that will be interesting to see. But how happy are you this Bevan this asked, oh, where's Dan? What happened to Dan? So I've been trying to get Dan on the show for quite some time. Dan has been very busy with work, etc. And it's been tough for him to meet us, to come on the stream. We're trying to get him on more often as a guest. That suits everybody if he comes on as a guest. He will be doing our previews and review shows for the England tour along with Lubabalo, along with Mpo. And I'm hoping Mpo will call in a couple of times as well to come talk with us as well. But we're going to be doing a couple of shows. I see you asking for the website. The website is, let me just get that up for you. I normally do that at the end of the show, Bevan. Lubabalo normally says everything for me. But there's the website link. We have an England series tab. So you just click on that and everything regarding to the England series will pop up in that particular tab. So everything's for you. I've said so much. Guys, up to you guys to talk now. Let me know, what are you guys excited about with regards to Super Sport having coverage again?
Look, I think the last game week I was at the Wanderers for I think it was day through two of the Lions versus what team was it? It was the Cobras. Watched Vian Mulder bat a bit. He seems okay. He seems fine. He just had an unlucky. I think it was an unlucky. It was an unlucky ball there that he played onto his stumps from George Linder. But look. Look, I think right now it's time. Obviously, the Protea players are out, well, a lot of them, and it's time to see where the strength lies. Obviously, Aiden Markram is still in the Titans setup with Dean Alga, so the Titans have a little bit of a one-up against the Cobras. Not the Cobras, who they're playing this weekend? It's Cobras are in Durban. It is it's what's the team that played? Oh, it's just lost. I'm lost now. I don't know who the Titans play. Because the Knights are in Johannesburg. The Dolphins are in Cape, are playing the Cobras. They're playing the Warriors again.
No, the Warriors is the other team that you're looking for. You were saying you were looking for the team.
Yes, because I know that the Dolphins are playing the Cobras, and I know the Knights are playing the Lions.
So the Titans will play the Warriors.
But they already played them again. They played them in PE last week, and then Shamsi took 8 for whatever it was for a ridiculous number. Which was the record. But it's look, I'm excited because obviously we're working towards over and above the England series. We're working towards Sri Lanka and the Pakistan tour in January. So from a Red Bull perspective, I think it's a good thing for us to be able to actually see one domestic game. And have a guy who is a Reynard van Tonde, have a look at a Vian Mulder who's got a Proteas cap. And see how guys are doing. Obviously, Dwayne Pretorius is now out of that line side, so Vian Mulder is going to have to take a lot of the bowling onto him. But obviously, the line's also packed with all-rounders. Sisanda Magala is not happy about not being left out of the limited over squad, so he'll be wanting to make a claim for himself. So I think from a Lions perspective, that's a good thing to watch. A Knights perspective, the Knights batting order, top 5 is just incredible. From Reynard van Tonde to down to Farhan Behadin, they're pretty unstoppable in terms of getting runs. But yes, I think I was told last year by one of the match referees that the Knights and the Warriors are flat pitch bullies. And they can just stack up runs. And he was referring to Eddie Moore more specifically because I think Eddie played in Durban and he just scored bucket loads of runs that day. And he was like, "Don't be surprised. It was a flat pitch." But so to a certain extent, to see how they handle a Wanderers wicket that's going to be doing something. It's been raining all day today, so tomorrow is just going to be good. To bowl, I think it's a nice toss to lose if you are hoping to bowl first. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how they handle the pace and movement here on the Highveld. But they've done it before. It's just for them to show the rest of South Africa who will be watching.
Yeah, you said you mentioned Eddie Moore over there, playing for Eddie Moore plays for the Warriors, eh? So he's going to be playing
for the Warriors. Oh, what I was just saying is that. My point was that the Warriors and the Knights can be flat pitch bullies because of the nature of the pitch that they play on.
Because you broke up a bit there, that's why I missed out.
Oh, okay, sorry. And the person who was talking about it was making reference to Eddie Moore. I think he scored a double century against the Dolphins last year, and then they just kind of said, just temper your expectations. He does score well on flat pitches, but it's nice to see guys like that getting a run and seeing how they play on how they bat on a spicy Wanderers pitch that I'm expecting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the Titans, the Warriors, and the Cobras are in the same group, so that's why I think they're playing so soon after each other. So the Warriors playing obviously now in Centurion against the Titans. And I think people in the same group, I think, play twice or something like that. Lububalo, do you know the rules? No. Yeah. Because I think
when it comes to the new thingy, I don't know, but I think you're right. I think I read something that said they're going to play each other twice, which is probably why the Titans and the Warriors are going to play each other so soon. But other stuff in terms of how the group is going to work, no.
Yeah. So so I think because the Titans play the Cobras again as well. So I think it's going to work with the tier system. So whoever finishes in the top of the group will play in the final. And so I think everybody in the group, I think, play each other twice. And then whoever ends off the top of the groups will go into the final. I think that's how it works. But I think Mpo is looking over there to see if we're right or wrong there.
Oh, no. Obviously, it's a pool system, so
Yeah.
you have to play everyone twice. It's just very interesting that because normally your reverse fixtures would come out in Jan. So for instance, this is pool A.
It's stupid the
So
way it's set up.
If the Titans have already played their games against the Warriors, there's essentially in February or Jan next year, you might have a fixture where both of them you won't get a fixture where, for instance, if the Dolphins play the Lions again in Jan next year, and it could be it's a must win for both of them. There's nothing, whereas now they'll be playing cross pool matches against probably teams again in the Lions, Dolphins, and Knights pool. So I think the scheduling was slightly off. I think they should just replicate. So what you normally do when you do these schedules, especially if it's a replication, is that you always make sure that you replicate season half of the season, and then you obviously your cross pool games you just have to mix and match. But they're playing 7 games, so it's a little bit awkward in terms of from a scheduling perspective.
I think what I would have done is, but I don't know if it probably would not be fair. But for COVID reasons, etc., what I could have done is maybe have the pools been set up in particular venues. So, for example, if the Titans are in the same pool as the Warriors and the Cobras, let the Cobras and the Warriors stay in a bio bubble for that week, and then play the Titans, and then they can play each other basically on the same ground instead of having to get that, because the home advantage and stuff like that. I don't know how much it's going to really obviously plays in your favor. But I think that they needed to, it would have been for COVID reasons, because now they're flying all over the place. You know what I mean? You can fly from East London then to the Supersport, then you're going to Durban, and it's a whole massive. They should have just picked a couple of venues and then put up pods, I think, and bio bubbles, and then just play and choose those venues to play, and then to lessen the travel. But it is what it is. I just want to go into some of the comments over here. We have Werner saying, "Oops, but slow." I must say I'm disappointed that we won't be able to watch Snyman with the injury picked up. Hopefully, Gerald Coetzee will make the team at some stage. And he's made the squad. So I think that we will be able to see him. And I hope we get to see him because he's going to be on TV. So I really would love to see Gerald Coetzee steaming in there at 150. That would be awesome to see that. It would have been even better if it was actually the Dolphins and the Knights playing, because they'll be able to see Leaf and Tons as well. But unfortunately, that's not what we're going to be able to see. Sasanda Magala, more like it. I hope that we get to see him a little bit more and see him, because I was speaking to some of the guys, and I was asking them about Nokia versus Magala versus Gerald versus Leifer. Some of the franchise players that have played against him. And a lot of guys actually say that Sasanda Magala is a lot faster than he looks. They said that that he's one of the fastest bowlers that they face. Like Matthew Brzezinski said that he struggles against Sasanda. It's someone that he feels that Sasanda Magala is a little faster actually than Gerald and Anrich and all of that. When I asked him, is Anrich the fastest you ever faced? Because obviously we're seeing the guns in India, 150, 156 and etc. And obviously when we played in South Africa, he was getting like 158 almost in the Mzansi Super League. Then it seems like he's extremely fast, and we're not saying he's not, but it seems like he's extremely fast. But when I spoke to Brzezinski, he said that actually Sasanda Magala feels a lot faster. That was quite an amazing thing that I heard, because sometimes the eye deceives you, or the gun deceives you in a way, because it might feel a lot faster than others. But Lubabalo, you wanted to add on to that?
Yeah, I think the other thing with Sisi is that his ball's a bit heavy. He bowls a heavy ball, so that's why he's gonna feel a lot quicker than a guy like Anna, because Anna is a bit skiddy. Sisi, even when he's bowling in the nets, when it hits the back of the net, you can hear that this ball was bowled, because he bowls a really heavy ball. That's probably why a lot of batsmen feel he's a bit quicker, because he's quick, but then it's heavy. Even on the bat, you can feel that this ball was really bowled. I think that's the difference between Anna and Sisi. Sisi bowls it heavy, and Anna is a bit skiddy. and the other guys as well. They're a lot. They're skiddier than Usisi, who bowls a heavy ball.
Mm. Interesting point, Paul.
Yeah, look, it's like the Jacques Callis principle. I think Jacques bowled a very heavy ball throughout his career. And he was always slightly faster and it was difficult for a lot of batsmen. And even if you looked at last year's Momentum One Day Cup, Sisanda was one of the top wicket takers last year because his ball was very heavy. Yes, it came out of the hand slower, but it was very difficult for you to hit him off the square. Especially, I think it was in East London, the one game that I watched, where he just had the code was in a knot. And they just couldn't play him off the square. Zubair Hamza really struggled. But that's the value that he has, and I'm disappointed that he's not in the bio bubble in the Western Cape because I think he adds a lot more to this Proteas bowling attack that at times looks one dimensional, right arm fast all the way. Yes, Dwayne Pretorius can bowl a heavy ball, but he's also changing the way he's bowling. But look, I think that for me is my one disappointment that Sisanda's not in the bubble. He's playing for the Lions, but I just do hope. Obviously, as a Lions supporter, I'm very happy that he's going to be at the Wanderers tomorrow. It's just it baffled me that Sisanda didn't get a look in. He got a look in, yes, in January and December, and it was he had to go through all those fitness situations for him to make it into the side. And now he looks much better, looks a lot leaner. He looks much fitter now. And I thought maybe this could be his opportunity to actually get a chance to play against a quality England side. Having watched the internal game yesterday, and there's an internal game that the guys at One World Sports Radio are doing tomorrow in conjunction with Pitch Vision. With England, and I looked at that, and you looked at the guys who did quite well yesterday from an English perspective, and it wasn't their out and out paces. It was their guys who necessarily just bowled quite heavy balls, and especially in a place like Paarl, which is where they'll be playing tomorrow. I'm expecting the balls. Paul's always a slow wicket, and that comes into a guy like Sisanda's ambit. And I think the big thing for me, especially with him coming up to the Highveld, was obviously the ball in the Highveld. You need to leave it in the air slightly longer than normal. And
I'm not laughing at you.
Okay. And Sisanda necessarily doesn't necessarily would have to obviously lengthen open up his length slightly more for at a Wanderers level, but he didn't do quite badly in their home match.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent points. I just want to answer this to the fans over here. I'm laughing because of this guy and his name tag, but this one answer the original over here. The squad that we got, I'm going to read it out to you quickly because the squad that we got sent to us is that Fahan Beardin, Budaza, Gerald, Andries, Dwan, Jansen, Matthew Kleinveld, Patrick Kruger, Sean van Berg, Grant Mokwena, Alfred Matoa, Miguel Pretorius, Jonathan Vanderleer, and Renat van Toorne. That's the squad for the Knights. Just to answer your question, that's the one that we were given original. I don't know if there was a new one sent out, but that was the one that was sent to us. We got Ayanda saying he can't wait to see Reinhard bat live. Sean van Berg captaining the Knights. Yebo. I was obviously, I think one dealer Makweta has been given time off. I think, obviously because
yes.
Yeah. So condolences go to you and your family, Wandile, if you are watching. It's a really sad news. At the Wanderers, nogal. Magala bowls a heavy ball. Ravi, can we call in? Yes, you can call in. There's the stream, guys. The stream is in the live chat. Lions getting trashed from tomorrow. Now, we need to get, before you speak, Mr. Ravi Reddy, we need to hear what Api had to say. He always sits there quietly. You must just put up your hand. You know what you must actually do? You must just interrupt these guys on top here. They get enough airtime. You must... Don't go ahead. What do you have to say?
No.
How excited are you about the stream happening?
I'm very excited. I've been speaking with with the guys on the side. I've even spoken with Lubabalo that I was starting to lose touch with some of the local cricket happening, with the domestic stuff, because it's really hard to follow when you have to always be on ESPN looking at score lines. Sometimes it gets to a point where you know the name, you know that he scored a few hundreds, but you don't know the guy. You've never seen him bat, you've never seen him bowl. So I was starting to lose touch a bit. So I'm very, very happy with the live games, and I will be trying to watch as much as I can in between office, in between work and other stuff. You have to see a few, even if it's 30 minutes or an hour in each day. Try squeeze it in everywhere. Yeah,
Well, excellent points.
yeah.
I mean, Bad Panda saying over here that he feels that Hamza should be in the squad in place of Riza. What do you guys think about that? And I think Ravi is going to have a point on that because he likes Riza a lot.
I think Ravi and I are the co-captains of the Reza fan club.
I also have something for that is a part actually. Ravi, I'll let you go just now. I was looking at some Riza stats because I was thinking a lot of people have been asking what's special about Riza. Why is Riza still in the team? And I was like, okay, let me look at his stats. The guy averages 40.65 for the Lions, 500s, and only 250s in list A cricket. That's those numbers are insane. And I also went on to look at his SAA numbers as well. He averages 47. He's got 600s, 1250s. So I understand why it's so hard to just give up on him. Even though he hasn't fired in international cricket, but we know he's very talented. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for the selectors to say, well, Riza, you haven't fired in international cricket, so yeah, then we're done with you. But one quick point I wanted to make is I know a lot of people are excited that we finally gonna watch cricket, but I just want to remind a lot of the guys that some of the guys who are going to be playing in the third round are guys that have not played competitive cricket in a long time. So it might happen that they might start the matches slow. Some might struggle a bit. As much as we're all excited to see the cricket, I would rather we not weigh our hopes too high because it's not easy coming back after so many months of just practice and practice nets and friendly games and stuff like that to just get the ball rolling. So I think that's another thing that okay, yeah, but that's the point I wanted to make.
Before the Paul Pogba finger wave joins, Reza should have been at the World Cup in 2019. At that point in time, his stats were identical with that of Aiden Markram's, and they took Aiden Markram to the World Cup. I wanted Reza to go. I thought Reza was much more comfortable, and he was
Maybe I
on a
shouldn't
good
say that.
wicket.
No, maybe I should.
From a domestic, you can, but I didn't want Aiden to go to the World Cup. Reza needed to go to the World Cup. I get Aiden played at Hampshire. I get Aiden bullied domestic cricketers. So did Reza Hendricks. It's just that Aiden's the love child of South Africa, which is what it is, and it's fair.
What happened there is, I think a lot of people predicted that Riza was going to be in the team, and I think that on the last minute they decided on Aiden. Remember, they had that whole super sport announcement of who's going to be in the team, etc. There was even rumors at that time that AB de Villiers was called to ask to
Yes, I
be
remember
part of
that
the
week,
squad.
yeah.
That week was hectic, and I think some journalists, I think, were fed that what the squad would basically be, and I think it changed quite a bit when it actually was announced, and some people were shocked that certain players were not there and certain players were there. I think Hashim Amla. I don't know if this is all facts. This might be just be rumors. So please don't take this as me giving you clear facts. I think there were question marks over Hashim Amla. I think there were question marks over AB, whether they're going to accept him or not. I think there was a lot of things because of the injuries that were happening to their bowling attack. I felt that they also wanted to change their game plan. A lot happened in that particular World Cup in a negative space for South Africa. So,
yeah, but like as Lubabalo said, from a domestic perspective, Riza is one of the best we have, even in a T20 context. Riza's the number 2 run scorer in the MSL. Yes, we've only had 2 additions. The only person who beats him is Yanaman Malan. And so you cannot say that Riza does not deserve to be in that Proteas squad. That man is a run getter. The only problem, his only crime, is that he played in an era where there was a solid opening partnership as well as a number 3 in that case. But that's me for Riza. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
I love the pads. I love the pads.
Mpo, we should be celebrating. Red card for 45 minutes. We should be celebrating that point.
We were robbed a penalty that would have been a yellow card anywhere on the field.
Yes.
Saka should have finished that chance he got. And guys, I am so irritated with Mikel Arteta right now. It's fine. Let's talk cricket.
Morning, guys.
That comment is toxic. That comment is
bring in
toxic.
Paul Pogba. Bring in Paul Pogba.
So here's Ayanda's comment. Go for it, Ayanda. We want to hear your presidential speech. I think he's having connection issues. Oh, he's gone. We chased him away. We see we have our friend from a galaxy far, far away. Bye.
How's it going, everyone?
How are you, bro? We don't get to see your face anymore.
I'm going to see if my camera works in a few minutes, but you still have me on audio, so we should be all good for now.
Lubabalo's crying. We're losing people left, right, and center here, guys. I think the connection is poor. I don't... look here, I just want to say to everybody, we got a message from StreamYard saying that things are a little bit congested, and that there's going to be some connectivity issues. Wow, I mumbled that. Over the next couple of days, with the amount of traffic that's coming through, etc., etc. So there's going to be some issues, but we're trying our best to get it. Ayanda, you're back. Can you just give your presidential speech for Aiden, please?
I believe we all Aiden Makram's fans. So even though he has to justify his presidency at the moment, he's not scoring runs, but one of his fans, and I believe 90% of us here are also his fans. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Look,
because
I
I
did
mean,
a quiz.
Good points here by Bad Panda. Sorry, Umpo. But it's true. Aiden spoke about wanting to work more on his bowling. If he can do that, he's going to be a proper asset to South Africa. If he can really fine tune that. I mean, he has Shamsi in the team and all those spinners in the team. He can learn from them. You know what I mean?
Can Aiden bowl though?
Yeah.
Yes, he can.
Hi,
Off
guys.
spin.
I am Ravi, by the way. I've been here for like only 60,000 years. But can Aiden bowl?
Yes,
Aiden
yes,
can bowl a
he
bit,
bowls
yes.
spin. He bowls
Off
off
spin.
spin. Yeah, he took a couple of wickets
I've
before the
never
World
seen him
Cup
bowl
in that
like that.
domestic season.
A bit is harsh, guys. He can bowl a lot. He can bowl. He's
No,
not going
guys,
to bowl you
guys.
8, 9.
Wait.
He's not going to
Four or
buy 8,
five.
9.
He
You can
can
buy
bowl
4
4
or
or
5
5.
for
Yeah.
no
No, guys.
ODI.
Yes.
Is Aiden going to come into the side as an all-rounder because you guys want him
No.
to come in because you need someone who can bowl, or is he going to be in this game? All Aiden needs to do
No. If
in
Aiden
that
comes
Sri
to
Lanka
me, he can.
series, he needs to score runs. I don't
Yep.
care about his domestic form. I don't care about anything else. He's like tennis the brain. You can bully guys domestically, score runs against Sri Lanka, and you'll be in the side.
Aiden is
It's as
good.
Is that
simple
a
as
fez
that.
on your head, Abai?
Yeah.
Have you converted to Islam?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can't
Yeah.
believe you're wearing is that a beanie? I've never
Yeah,
seen
it
you.
is.
Oh wow,
You
I've
know,
never seen you with any piece of headwear or accessory in my life that I've seen you on the stream. So
no,
it's great
you've
to-
seen me in my hat. You see me in my other hat.
Oh, I've seen you in your hat. Yes, I have. You're right. You're right. It almost looked
Does,
like a fez. Sorry, I've been seeing a lot of phases because I was at a
does
wedding.
that
So
does that beanie come with an electronic scooter by any chance? I mean, you look like an electronic scooter guy. You know those
You
people.
know, just today, I decided to go for a different type of headgear. That's all I'm gonna say here.
I mean, you got Lupo Paulo. He looks like he's about to go camping in Colorado. And then you got you. You look like you're about to go get some chimichangas on your little electronic scooter.
I think everybody came with their own dude today. You in your Springbok hat, and you look like you're gonna be fishing on the weekend. So all of us, late night fishing, take a boat out. We can
We
call
need to keep
Reinhard
it
and
weird,
Quentin
yeah.
and Dale and all of them. They
I
can
don't
come
do
out with you.
fishing. I will go on a yacht just to admire the sights, but I will never. I don't think I'm capable of fishing. I'll try, but I'll probably lose a couple rods along the way.
It's just crazy, guys. I mean, Werner saying it's hectic with 7 guys. You can have as many guys as you want on here, man. Just come on, let's have some fun. This
Isn't
Sunday
it
night
a max of
podcast is
10?
all about
That's what
fun.
she
Isn't it a
said.
max of 10?
That's what
Yeah, it's
she
a max
said.
of 10. That's what she said. Hey, we can't monetize the video if you're going to talk nonsense here. Hey, just be careful.
I retract that joke from the office. Sorry.
Oh, my word. Questions box around JP.
Which JP?
That I think that he was talking about the World Cup. When before the World Cup.
Yeah, I think he's
okay.
adding to.
Björn Hendricks has been playing out of his socks. He has really been performing really well. You know, that interview that I had with him. So there was 2 interviews I did with him. There was one when I just started Cricket Fanatics magazine. I met up with him at Waterfront and we had a conversation. And I feel that where he was then compared to what he told me in the latest interview, I think he's grown a lot in that period. Because, I mean, he had chats with me about Sean Langenveld and what Sean Langenveld has brought him to his game. He's been asking for help. I mean, it just shows, even as a 30-year-old, you can still learn. And you shouldn't be afraid of learning and fine-tuning your skills. He told me specifically that he felt like his Yorker, he felt like his swing wasn't at to scratch for what he used to do. And he's been really working on getting that swing back into his game. That's so important because a left arm swing and bowler we haven't had. So we need those guys. I mean, that it just adds extra variety. I don't know, Lubabalo, you always have, like, I wouldn't say controversial opinions, but always open and honest opinions about certain things. Well, what's your thoughts on Buren? Do you think he can work his way into that squad, into that side for the T20 World Cup?
For the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, to be honest, I think now it's going to be a tough one. But I remember before that World Cup, I think it was in India. Bjorn Hendricks was easily one of the best T20 bowlers in the country. So I think if he can find that Bjorn Hendricks, because I remember he used to bowl gun at the death, which is why he was picked for that T20 World Cup. I think it's going to be tough though, because you have KG, you have Anna, you have Lungi. Those 3 are sort of guys that I'd say they are short picks for that side. So the other question would be, do you want to have another specialist seamer, or do you want to look at an all-rounder who can offer some spin, and then another all-rounder who can offer some sim as well? So it's going to be tough for any other fast bowler now to make the side, unless they go for let's say, for instance, a guy like Sasana Makala, someone that we know is a specialist death bowler. Because KG, Lungi, and Anna, yes, they can bowl at the death, but they're not specialist death bowlers. So I'm thinking if the selectors want to think differently, they'd probably go for someone who specializes in bowling at the death, because I rate someone who specializes in doing it is likely to succeed more times than someone who who does it whenever he has to do it. Because even a guy like Andile, he can bowl at the death as well. He's not a specialist though, also like the other guys. So I'm thinking if they really want to try and think differently, they'd probably consider a guy like Sisanda Magala ahead of Buren Hendricks. It's that left option it's not such a big deal in T20 cricket, to be honest. In Test cricket, definitely, it is such a massive deal. Like imagine having you have KG, you have Lungi, you have Anna, and then you have Buren Hendricks. But the issue with that in this cricket is that in terms of modern cricket, it's apparently a long tail. For me, it's not a long tail. All four of them are strike bowlers. Top 7 must score runs, and that's it for me.
Yeah. Okay, guys, what I'm gonna do is before you add on to what Lobabalo says, but when you do add, I'm gonna direct certain questions that I see in the comment section to some of you. If I see one of them that maybe I can talk on, then I'll talk a little bit on it. Do you guys want to add on to what Lobabalo said about Buren? Who wants to go?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, if we look at Rabada, Ngidi, Norkia, all these three guys are pace bowlers, and they normally rely on plenty of pace to get their wickets and look threatening to the opposition. But if you look at Buren Hendricks, not only does he add variety as a left arm bowler, he can generate swing as well, and it's something he's been working on over the course of time. So he definitely brings some extra balance to the bowling lineup, and I think he definitely has lots of potential to become an all-format force.
I think my problem with I love Buren Hendricks as a bowler. I think my problem with now, because obviously with the England tour, I don't think he's going to get a lot of game time. Largely because of KG, Anna, and Lungi, and them wanting to and I'm assuming Victor and Mark and Graham want to see that. On top of that, you've got the all-rounders in Dwayne Pretorius there as well. A left arm option is something that you always need to consider. However, from a T20 World Cup perspective, it's going to be very tough for him to make it in, as Luba said. I love the fact that he's managed to, because obviously as a left arm swing bowler, you need to swing the ball in and then have one that goes straight or either go away. And he's just managed to work on that straight, the one that goes across the right-hander very nicely. He's bowled incredibly well in the domestic season. The one other thing that I'd like to add on to this about tomorrow that I think I'm excited is there's a possibility that Aldred Hawken could bowl tomorrow for the Lions, which is something of a treat. Last time I was at the Lions was like about this time last year, and they were playing the Titans, and he dismantled them on that at the Wanderers. So he's someone to look forward to. But from a bowling stocks perspective, Buren is your, you know how Australia always have six fast bowlers to go into like a summer. Our 6 fast bowlers to go into the summer definitely include Buren Hendricks in that second trio or quartet.
Yeah, I remember when I chatted to Mone Morkel, I think it was 2 years ago, JP21's project's launch. He had like a launch thingy in Cape Town at one of the hotels. And I spoke to him and I asked him, who do you think is one of the top bowlers or up-and-coming bowlers that you're really excited about? And he actually mentioned Hawkey. I said Hawkey now because of you, about Shivas, man. Because I'm writing the Elder Hawken. Because I'm writing out your comment that you said and trying to put it on the screen. So guys, I know this is an inside joke here. Let me just add it so that you guys don't feel lost. But he said that. That's what he said, and then I said Hawkey. So Elder Hawken, he mentioned Elder Hawken as one of the main guys that he's looking forward to. I'm gonna ask him Piwe this question. Thoughts on Junior Dala in being in the squad? I haven't kept track of his performances in the 4-day stuff.
Hey, this one is a bit tricky because Junior has been in and around, and he hasn't really cracked it at the national team level. So it's one of those where you're not sure if it's time to give someone else a chance with the amount of bowlers that are going around in the country. Give someone else a go, or do you give him another shot? Because if I was one of the selectors, I think I'd start looking at someone else. I'm a Titan. I'm big on the Titans, and he does perform domestically, but once he gets to the Proteas, he's always there or thereabout, but never taking the fourfers and the fifers. So it's really hard for bowlers sometimes, especially in a country filled with fast bowlers. If he was a spinner, maybe we'd give him a longer rope, but I think it's time to give some younger guys a chance now in that bowling
I think for
attack.
me, I think Junior Dalla I think he had an injury over the past year, for the past year.
Yeah.
And that kind of set him back in terms of his progression into the Proteas, because he had that initial first season where he played. He didn't do quite well, but you kind of felt like he needed a little bit more time to get in the setup and everything else. And yes, his domestic performances were always great. He's probably one of the better domestic bowlers we have in the setup who actually play full seasons. I think this is yes, you could say it's possibly last chance saloon, but as Lubabalo was talking as well, he's also a very good death bowler. He has quite a lot of variations. His action's not the most natural, which kind of helps as well. I think from a T20 perspective, he is an option for Victor, and I'm happy that they gave him that chance, especially after that injury. I don't think it's going to be the last time we see him. I think from a T20 perspective, he's a valuable bowler, and to a certain extent, we maybe even need to consider one of KG, Lungi, and Anna not actually playing T20s. Yes, I know they've done well at the IPL and everything else, but from a preservation and a body preservation and a health perspective, it could possibly be that we give other up and coming fast bowlers an opportunity in that T20 side with experienced bowlers around them. We just need to pick the one guy who what we want to focus on red ball cricket or even the 50 over cricket. But Junior is an option, a very, very good option in the T20 setup.
Yeah, you guys got distracting in the private comments. I'm like, Paul's making excellent points here, really good points. Ravi, jump in there because there's a question I also want to ask you, and then
Yeah.
Lubabalo can go straight after you.
So I would agree with him, Paul. I do think it's a last chance saloon. And one thing that's actually taken me by surprise, I had to look now. Junior Dalla's average in T20 internationals, obviously from a bowling standpoint, is just over 21, which is not bad at all. He's a bit on the expensive side. He's sitting on 9.5 on the economy level. Which is also a critically important factor or attribute to have if you're a T20 bowler. You need to be on the economical side, but from an attacking front, he's actually pretty good. It's good to have somebody with that sort of skill set in your artillery. That being said, we mentioned last chance saloon. I think there's plenty of other suitable individuals that could take that mantle from him, the Gerald Coutiers, the Andre Burgers. I think they are waiting in the wings. But again, it depends on the day. It depends on the conditions of the day. It depends on what sort of variety you want to bring in. We spoke about left-arm seamers. We spoke about adding more spin bowlers, which is the way T20 is going. T20 is completely unconventional. It goes against the norm in all respects. So we need to be strategic about
But Ravi, if you look at, I think the guys you've named are great, but if you look at this Protea squad, the guys Junior Dalla is fighting against for a spot to go to a World Cup, if there is a spot for an extra seamer, are Luto Sipamla and Bjorn Hendricks. Those are the guys he's fighting with. You've got that front three that will always be there, and then you've got this other three who need to get as much game time as possible. But they're fighting for a spot that actually might not be there. And that's very hard. But from if I had to pick 6 quicks in South Africa who are the best T20 bowlers there, the only person who's not there that I'm not happy about is Sisanda Magala, because I think he fits. He's one of the 6. And the question I think that Victor Mpitsang probably had was either Sisanda or Junior Dalla. And I think that's probably they went with Junior Dalla there.
No, I would agree with that. I think Sisanda has been knocking a door for some time. He had a sublime 2019. And I was actually surprised that he was not included. I was somewhat disappointed, some people may say. But look, I mean, I think there's still hope. I mean, you got other contenders as well for that spot. You got Glenton Steerman, who came straight out of left field, and I think he's doing all the right things at the moment. It depends on what happens in the series. I'm not sure.
I think Clinton's going to play the ODIs. They picked a 28-man squad for both, and I think Glenton might be a good 24. I think Glenton might be more of an ODI pick, but I also would like to see him bowl in T20s. It's just that we're not going to get to see everyone. Someone's going to sit throughout that entire T20 series and not get a game, and we just need to be comfortable with that.
Roberto, you wanted to add something before you got kicked?
Yeah, I want to add something to what Mpo said, and I also want to disagree with something that he said. I think the other thing when it comes to fast bowlers, pace tends to play a huge role with regards to a player being picked. So I think as much as we can say Junior Dala hasn't fired, the fact that he has that pace will always be knocking on the door of the selectors. The fact that he's that quick, selectors will always be talking about him. I'm sure everyone who's been to cricket trials know that as long as you have pace, once people see pace, they see something special in you. So I'm thinking, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. I'm thinking one of the reasons Dala is getting picked is the fact that he's one of the quickest in the country, one of the best that we have. I want to go back to button post. I'm not a fan of boxing players. I'm not a fan of telling players which format they can play and which they cannot play. And I also don't think we pay them enough to do that. Remember, T20 cricket is where the money is. So if you say a certain bowler, mustn't play T20 cricket for SA, then you're basically saying you're denying them a chance to get an IPL thingy, to get CPL thingy, because now those franchises won't see him performing in international cricket. Then that means you're taking his bread away from him at the same time, and you're not paying him enough. Remember, one of the reasons that we struggle with players having to play so many matches in the and we can't have them back whenever we want them is the fact that we don't need them enough for us to have a say. It's easy for boards like England and Australia because they pay their players enough. So it's easy for them to say, hey, Pat, you can miss the IPL now. And because they're paying him enough, he's going to be okay with it. I think, yeah, for me, it's the boxing of players is not something that I really fancy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And remember also that Junior Dala is also a very skiddy bowler. And in T20 cricket, those skiddy type of bowlers are difficult to play in certain areas of the game. I know you guys are saying that he's a medium pace bowler, but he's
just say, yeah. Then I might say this one. What does Quick Info say about Junior Dala?
It says his bowling speed is right arm medium. I know he's definitely quicker than that.
He's definitely quicker.
But then again, Cricinfo is wrong on a lot of things. Like, for example, they had listed Dwayne Pretorius as a bowler when he's actually an all-rounder.
That's a debate. Everybody give him a finger wave. Finger wave.
If you watch the first 2 weeks of domestic season, Cricinfo might be.
You know how bad it is? Oh, you're getting a Paul Pogba finger wave, not only from South Africa, but you're getting it from California.
Hey, dude, Paul Pogba's my friend. I am Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's the guy.
California.
If Manchester United could give me a player, it would be.
If you guys didn't notice, I changed my headgear.
Yes, I did notice. I was
about to
didn't want to say anything. Wait, what's on the front? Just put your head down. Oh, flip! I almost thought it was two Spider-Man eyes. I almost got excited.
You guys are providing free advertising to people these days.
Yeah, well, guys, They must sponsor. You guys must wear it. McDonald's, get it on. I think we should just put some placements, product placements on this, and then we can get some sponsors. Look here,
McDonald's is gonna
Ravi,
sue you
I
out.
want to ask you.
We need to get like Cricket Fanatics magazine T-shirts or
Yeah,
something.
that would be awesome. That is something that I'm looking into.
Yeah, but you need to pay $50 for shipping, though. But yeah, we got you. We got you. I'm gonna phone my fucking sunny cousin.
There's no hand-to-hand couriers. Rab hand-to-hand couriers. Look. I want to ask you a question, Ravi. This is from Keenan Mitchell. Very
Before we
interesting
do
one.
the Keenan's question, Khalid, why are you dressed like the wedding singer right now? Just explain
Because-
that to me.
So you
Because
were,
yes.
so you were completely lost in translation when we were talking early on.
Yeah, I was driving from Pretoria, man. I just see you.
It
in a
shows
wedding
that he
suit.
doesn't
I don't
listen
know.
to when I speak. You see, he doesn't listen to when I speak.
Embarrassing
So
stuff.
I came here I came from a wedding.
So it was a wedding.
It is a wedding. Yes, a friend of mine got married. I'm not going to say who, for publicity reasons. Congratulations to you, Junaid and Nafia, on your wedding. And I wish you all the best and all the happiness and long-lasting love, everlasting love. Okay, look here. I'm going to come back to it again. Ravi, this is an excellent question that I think you can ask because I think you've seen both of them. You would have seen Parnell grow up, and you would have seen Björn Hendricks now now that you're in Joburg. Who's the better left-arm bowler?
So I actually responded to that in the comments, and in my opinion, I feel that Buren's a better one, largely because I feel that he's quicker. I think he's gotten much quicker. He's worked on his fitness. He's worked on his longevity in the game. And obviously, I personally, I look at Wayne as more of an all-rounder. You know, in the Cobras, we opened with him for a couple games as well. We had that much confidence in his batting. We actually said to him, let's go open the batting, shall we? And that didn't quite work out in some cases. But coming back to Bjorn, I think he's a far better left-arm seamer. He offers a little bit more variety with the ball. You'd remember in one of his initial games, he got 6 wickets. I think it's the second or third game, possibly for South Africa. Or was it debut? Why isn't Paul rolling his eyes? Come. I'm not gonna, I promise I won't give you any more ballpark or fingers.
I'm not rolling my eyes because of what you're saying. It was those comments.
To do with Arsenal. It was to do with Arsenal.
Guys, leave my football club out. You're making some very good points there. The only thing is that I think Wayne as a bowler could have developed a lot more. I think I think he had potential across either side of the game. I think he was managed very poorly by the setup that was around there.
Look what Vernon said, guys. Sorry, Paul. Look what Vernon said. Keenan Patel was consistently inconsistent, which is a shame because what? because he started. You see, he was one of those young talents, that really had an amazing star above his head, and everybody was really hoping that he was going to really rise into an incredible player. It's a similar type of pressure that he got, like Jason Smith is under. Jason Smith was under enormous amount of pressure from people around him, saying he's going to be the next Cullis. And I think that put a lot of pressure on him. But sorry, continue with.
But the thing is, I think Parnell was stuck between whether to be a better batsman or to be a better bowler. That's what I always felt. And then it just kind of like nobody actually said, no, do one skill well. And then if you can do the other one at about a 60%, you're good enough. I just felt that he was thrown in too early. But in South Africa, we like to do that with our cricketers. We like to throw people in early without necessarily putting the necessary support around them. So I think if I look at Bjorn now at age 30, I think Bjorn's has progressed into a very great bowler. The only issue is that Parnell, on the other hand, had to worry about his batting too, whereas Bjorn can solely focus on that one skill. And I think if Parnell just focused on his bowling and try to do that, he'd be a much, much better. He probably would have been one of the best left-arm seamers we've had in the country.
You are in the naughty corner. You are in the naughty corner. You're just catching on rubbish, you. No, guys, let's wrap it up. We're getting quite a lot of comments over here. I like this comment over here. For example, Khalid Ravi Cobras, Umpo, Lou Lions, and Peeway Titans about Dolphins. I think Lou is a bit of Warriors as
Pretty
well.
much.
I don't think he's just Lions, but I think all of us we like multiple
Cobras.
teams.
Yeah. Deep
Um,
down inside, you all are Cobras fans. I think that's what you want to go. You know.
Smith, Erasmus, Kotso, sorry, Green, Dupree, to what? Green, to I don't know what he's saying here, guys.
Dupre.
Yeah, but who's
Oh.
Green?
No comprende, senor.
I have no clue.
I don't know that he's original.
Guys, did we have
But-
Kyle Majola week this year?
No, they
No.
didn't. David Visa.
Yo, David Visa. Oh,
Eugene, you look a little bit like
him.
Visa.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Huh? Maybe it is David Visa. Eugene, I did not
Okay,
see you.
in case it's David Visa in disguise, David Visa was a great bowler.
Eugene's been watching too much PSL. I saw him a few times.
Guys, I'm going to revert you to Luba's comment, and I'm going to revert to Luba. These international tournaments, you have a lot of domestic players playing and a few internationals who've tasted international cricket. So the quality is slightly better. So guys like David Visa will look good in a setup like that. Let's take it for what it is. Let's honestly do that. Like, guys, no.
Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at a message quickly that bothered me a bit. Who's bigger bit between Cornwall and Magala? Let's not answer that.
We don't do fat shaming on this show.
Liverpool about to play
Football got
big
to wait.
teams.
Look, I've got something to talk about. Wait, I've got something to talk about if we're still going through the comments. I want Luba's comment on this. Devon Conway is going to make his debut for New Zealand in the next 2 weeks. I'm excited for this. I went to school with Devon. We're in the same boarding house. I grew up watching him bat at St. John's and when he tried to make it through. And I think it's a great opportunity for him, for South African to actually get that opportunity for New Zealand. Luba, your thoughts on Devon? And then we'll get Abai. Unless if Luba's frozen.
I'm a huge fan, by the way. Huge fan of Conway. I was actually sad when he left the Lions. But then again, as you said, I think it was great for his career. At the same time, because to be honest, I don't think he would have made the Proteas. Even though I rate him, even though I like him, I personally, honestly, don't think he would have made the Proteas. And we know these Oaks want to play international cricket. There's more than one option when it comes to playing for international cricket. So personally, I'm all for players going the other route. It's a dream of theirs to play international cricket. So yeah, I'm struggling to answer the question because of that comparison that I saw there about Jason Smith and Diane Khalim. Yeah, but I think it's a bit unfair. One is probably a top 4 batsman, and the other one is probably a middle order batsman.
I like Khalim.
I put
I love
Diane
Khalim.
and same here. And the shorter format, I'd go for Jason, but I'd honestly choose both of them. I'd have Diane at 7 and I'd have Jason at 4. You're sorted.
I think Jason is maybe just edges him a little bit more with the bat, I feel. Personally, from what I've seen. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah, guys, let's wrap this up. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had something to add.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think going back to the Devon Conway New Zealand debut, I think that the main thing we understand is that cricket's becoming a global sport as time goes on. Like if players aren't able to make it where they originally are from, they try to explore their options to see if they can advance any further elsewhere. And we see how much progress Devon Conway has made. Like when he was playing franchise cricket at the Lions, he wasn't necessarily a sure starter across all formats. And then he left everything behind and he went to New Zealand. And and he worked his way up to domestic cricket. And last season, I think he scored a triple century, and that's absolutely unbelievable. And now he's finally in the contract list for this upcoming season. So he's come a long way, and I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes in the T20 series against the West Indies.
Yeah, look, I'm really excited. I think if you guys want to see a classy left-handed batsman, he's the guy. Oh my word, he's incredible. But I think, as Abai said, the man's traveled around the world and he found a very good spot in New Zealand. He's been the top run scorer in their domestic season for I think 3 years now, while he was waiting for his citizenship. And New Zealand wanted him. If the T20 World Cup was happening, was it this year? He'd be playing there because he also just does well in T20s as well. Very, very good batsman. I just hope that his form can translate, and international cricket's a big step up. I know he's got the hard work and he has the character. Having watched him and having spent time with him throughout the 4 years that I got to be around him. The man can bat for days. But now is that opportunity, and I'm excited for him. It's unbelievable that he's managed to get to this point.
Guys, let's just do one final round before we wrap up. Anybody else want to say something just to conclude? Who wants to start?
Yeah. Mine is on the domestic cricket. I actually forgot to add this. I think the most exciting thing for me is that a lot of the sides will be missing their key players. The Erks that have been performing for the sides will be missing. You look at Buren Hendricks, not Buren Hendricks, man. You look at a George Linder and a Kyle Varane for the Cobras, for instance. They'll be missing in the third round. So it's going to be exciting to see who steps up. And I think guys like Aiden Makram, Zubair Hamza, Dean Elgar, those Peter Malan, those guys will be looking to get into the runs, score big, because they don't have a lot of matches left before we have that series against us. I think it's Sri Lanka. I'm hoping to see Aiden Makram get on the runs now, because I've been waiting for those runs. I'm running out of patience myself now. We might have to find another president. I'll speak to Ayanda after this.
Upo, let's go with you.
Look, I think for me this week, it's an England series. I think we need to look forward to that. Obviously, there's a warm-up game. There'll be a link around on my Twitter handle, which is there, I'll be posting a link to the game that's starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow. If you want to watch. But Friday is the day it starts, international cricket in South Africa. I'm very excited with that. Hopefully we can get an 11 of Proteas players who've had time in the nets to play. But that's going to be good. And then I think for domestic cricket tomorrow, guys, guys, Dominic Hendricks is a great batsman. If you want to watch tomorrow, if the Lions bat first, just watch Dom Hendricks tomorrow. It's just going to be insane. But if not, see Eldred Hawken try and take the wickets of Reinhard van Tonder tomorrow morning as well. Yeah, it's at least we're getting cricket in South Africa. It's great. I'm excited, and yeah, it's a great week.
Ravs. Actually, wait, Ravi. You must wait. Apiwe was sitting too quiet for too long. Let him wrap up. Let him have some time.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Please go ahead, Apiwe.
Now, a lot of people have been saying they're looking forward to see a lot of people bat. Looking forward to some of the bowlers, Pretorius, Miguel Pretorius, people like that. As you were saying, we're not seeing the Cobras yet, but I saw their squad earlier on, and I like the spinners that they've got in there with Imi and Matthews coming in. I love those guys. So as we start watching more games, I want to look at the young bowlers coming along, trying to stop these batsmen, the Fantonders and all these guys scoring big runs. So that's what I'm looking forward to from tomorrow. Yes.
Now your turn, Ravi.
Can I? Can I go? All right. Awesome. Did your suit come with a bow tie or with a nice little Donald Trump
I
like
didn't wear a tie.
tie? No,
Hmm.
you didn't wear a tie. Okay. Okay, so you went quick casual. You went Miami
Yeah.
Vice style to this wedding.
Mhm.
Nice. Very cool. Very suave. Anyways, so I saw a comment there about Van Tonder or Keegan Peterson making his debut at the end of the year. Personally speaking, I think Van Tonder has a fantastic shot and opportunity at the end of the year, especially in the test team. But I've always been aligned with Marcus Ackerman. I don't know what it is about him, but I just have a strange suspicion that he may very well make a test debut against Sri Lanka before those two candidates particularly. I don't know why. Just something about Marcus Ackerman that tells me that he will be there in the test team at the end of the year. Let's face it, our top six isn't in the best form at the moment. We haven't won a test against in a long time. The last people we obviously played test cricket against was Sri Lanka, and we're going to have a nice opportunity at the end of the year to even the score.
Last but not least, Mr.
Let
California.
me start by saying that we always save the best for the last. We always save the best for the last. Anyway,
Is
so
going
yeah.
again after this. So
Well, I'm going to end with this much. So, yeah, the games are back again. So I'll be back at it doing the daily wraps. You can see those on the Cricket Fanatics magazine website. Be sure to give us like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet already. Going back to the cricket talk, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the newcomers. So I think, in the absence of Kyle Verreynne, I think Brendan Lowe is going to keep wickets for the Cobras, and I think he's played a lot of provincial cricket, and I think this might be his first go in the franchise scene. So let's see how he goes, and of course, I want to see how some of the young players, whether it be batsmen, bowlers, or all rounders. I want to see how they go because every time we see a young player do well, it gives us more confidence that there's lots of talent brimming in South Africa. So I'll end with that much. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all the guys that came on the show. It was an excellent show. I really enjoyed it. Don't forget
Bye,
to like,
donkey.
comment, share, subscribe. Yes. Don't forget to subscribe to the monthly magazine. The link is on the screen and in the description. We also have a cricketfanaticsmag.com where we can get all your updates on everything. Obviously, we have an England series tab, so you just click on that and you'll be updated with all the stuff that's regard to England series. And guys, obviously, if you have a small business or you have a business and you're looking to get sales online, we've got a free video on this channel for you guys to watch, and you can sign up and we can try to help you guys get sales online and automate those processes. So thanks to everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, everyone.